Hello and welcome back to Reeling in the Peers, where we chat about and discuss all sorts of movies. My name is Gary O'Brien, and joining me today to talk about the 1993 fantasy adventure video game adaptation Super Mario Bros. is my very good friend John Hackett, so stick around. We hope you enjoy. Hello John, how are we? Are we well? Welcome back.
Hi Gary, I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. I want to first of all say thank you so much for doing this movie, because I am
the video game expert. I am your most knowledgeable friend. I can talk about how the lack of double jumps infuriated me. There wasn't a single raccoon suit used. Not even sorry, I'm heated. You go. I'm heated.
No, I was just going to say, you're not only the expert of video game movies, you're just the expert on bad movies for the podcast. So I've gone back.
It's a real Venn diagram of my skills.
I've gone back and I worked out all the episodes we've done on individual movies, and I've added up and averaged out the Rotten Tomato scores.
Is mine a fucking negative?
You got to know you are coming a dead last.
Was that before or after this movie?
This is with this movie. Now, I would like to say, so you're averaging at 54%. However, that's including A Quiet Place, which, if anyone remembers, was an April Fool's podcast where we didn't do a podcast.
It was? You never told me that. I recorded 2 hours of my own interpretations about the color theory in that movie, and you cut it all?
Oh, it all had to go. I'm so sorry.
Damn it!
But if
what
you
is
take
my
that
color
out,
theory essay about this movie going to be about? You're going to cut it as well, aren't you?
Oh, John, you know I will. I don't like you talking about colour on the podcast.
That's
it gets
it.
very heated.
Oh, God. Especially the reds and greens. I'm colorblind, so it's a real tough one for me to figure out. And especially the fact they call themselves Luigi Mario and Mario Mario. I couldn't tell who the fuck was speaking most of the time.
But that's why they only had one person with a mustache, because they were like, what if someone's colorblind?
That's
you're gonna need to one's the mustache guy and one's John Leguizamo, a name I can never pronounce, and this is gonna be torture.
Yeah. Oh, God. Well, you could just call him Luigi Mario, or you could call him what other people in the movie treat him as, a big robot, because he's a fucking weirdo.
He's a weirdo. So to give context about why we're doing this movie, so the movie, the Illumination Entertainment animated movie, the Super Mario Bros. Movie is coming out. So I thought it'd be fun to take a look back to 30 years ago when Hollywood had its first crack at this IP, which was, I believe, the first ever video game adaptation movie. And since then, I believe Nintendo have only ever had one other adaptation of their material. And I can't remember off the top of my head what it was, but I read it, and that was interesting.
Probably Tetris. Probably a live-action recall of Tetris that ends tragically when an elbow block appears.
There's actually a Tetris movie out last week.
Is there? Oh, yeah. With Taron Egerton.
Yeah. Taron Egerton.
Oh, Tetris will change the world. Will it, Taron? Will it change the world? I mean, it's good, but it's definitely no Wordle. Like, it's not going to catch on.
The other one was Detective Pikachu. Sorry, for Nintendo.
Ah, yes, with Ryan Reynolds.
But we're not talking. We don't have time for Hollywood celebrities like Ryan Reynolds. We're here to talk about a movie with celebrities such as Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo, Dennis Hopper, and Fiona Shaw. Yeah,
Samantha
that was
Mathis.
Weird, wasn't it?
Yeah, very weird. What's really weird about it is that a lot of these people are quite famous actors and quite good actors, but this is just weird. Like.
And we'll get into it in a bit, but my favorite thing is just reading what all of these people have had to say about the movie since it came out. Bob Hoskins, calm-headed dude usually, but what
just a seething, furious mess.
Oh, it's so funny. But I guess for this movie, it's a live-action adaptation of the Super Mario Bros. Video game. And what I love, the first line in the Wikipedia about the production is incredible, because it goes, development began after producer Roland Joffe obtained the Mario film rights from Nintendo, given free creative license by Nintendo, which believed the Mario brand was strong enough for experimentation, and I strongly disagree.
Oh my God, I cannot believe he had free creative license and he came out with this movie, which feels so of its time. Like, it feels like such a 90s movie.
Yeah.
He would have thought he would have swung for the fences and tried to do something new, but instead it's quite like Idiocracy, I was thinking. Like, It's so over the top, and it's so, like, it's kind of like Idiocracy, but it's a lot more soulless than Idiocracy because it has nothing to say and it's really trying to get through every scene as quickly as it can.
Which one is that? The movie where some guy goes into the future and everyone's an idiot,
Yes,
and
he's
and
the
they're growing
absolute
crops
center
with
of the
Gatorade?
bell curve. Yeah, because the
okay.
plants crave electrolytes.
Ah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Super Mario is a quality experience. I almost said movie, but it's not. It's a bad movie. It's a quality experience to have because it's so very like odd to watch
Yeah.
and like because it feels like you're watching a first draft. As I was watching the movie, I kept thinking this did not get reviewed. Like no one kind of said, "I've got a few notes."
No notes.
No notes.
Go for it.
It's all perfect. Because it's
But what's infuriating for me. I'm not a big like Super Mario like games fan. Like I'm not like loyal to the source material, let's say. But like it's too far away from what the game is, but yet dangerously close at times that
Yes.
it's just like infuriatingly like you were so close. Like I think the producer was like, their names are Mario and Luigi. They're plumbers, and there's like turtles or dinosaurs or something, and then they went out and made a 1 hour 40-minute movie about that.
Exactly. It's so like there's so many bits in it where you're thinking, why have you taken the stuff from Super Mario and then just reduced it to like kind of just a traditional movie? Like there's so many things that you could have played around with. Like this is a movie, right? Where
Is
they
it?
establish
I thought you said it wasn't.
it's an experience and it's a bad movie, but it is a movie.
Yeah.
It
Legally,
has.
I believe that's what it's for tax purposes. I believe it has to be called a movie.
Oh, we're going to get into that. I wonder whether this movie was just one big write-off to continue holding on to the rights. But anyway, this is a movie where it establishes at the very start that a meteor, I almost said a dinosaur hit the Earth, a meteor hit the Earth and caused, it literally starts off and it's like, a meteor hit the Earth and it killed all the dinosaurs. But what if it didn't? that's the premise of the movie. The dinosaurs enter into a new reality and then they become, or a new dimension, and then they become humans. Now, Super Mario.
No. The dinosaurs.
Oh, sorry, they evolved
the
to
Earth
be like.
gets hit with a meteorite, and the dinosaurs, instead of being wiped off the face of the Earth, get shifted into a parallel universe.
Yes.
And then develop as humans did over time, and the
Yes.
two parallel. It's fucking bonkers.
And
I don't know where this.
This is what's crazy about it is that Super Mario is it's a show or it's a game that has Bowser, a big lizard.
Yeah.
And they don't have him there. They establish like this is a movie where dinosaurs became human, and they don't have Bowser. What were they thinking?
The sequel, John?
Oh, the sequel bait at the end. Oh my god. It felt so like Morbius's final cutscene there.
Oh, yeah.
Where they're like, I think Spider-Man's involved. It's like, this is shameless how you're trying to set up a sequel. Oh.
But what's got my favorite, I was trying to think of like how this got made in the sense of what was the basis of how they went about making this movie.
Probably with cameras.
And all I got was that someone just picked up like the Japanese game manual, like the manual for the game, and was like, look, that looks like a dinosaur. That'll do.
Someone went, do you want that translated? And they were like, nah, I think I got it.
I get the gist.
I don't need notes. I just need the broad strokes here.
And then how the movie kind of, and like also, by the way, what is the like, if you were to ask someone what's the story of a Mario game, it's Princess Peach. That's important. We'll come back to that in a second. Gets kidnapped by Bowser, and Mario has to rescue her. None of that happens in this movie, as in someone called Daisy gets pulled into the dinosaur parallel universe.
No.
By...
She technically is from there, but we should probably give a general idea of the plot. But like, I do think you've got a point there where you say it's a movie about Princess Peach, or Super Mario is a game about Mario rescuing Princess Peach from Bowser. Princess Peach isn't in this, Bowser isn't in this, and Super Mario isn't the main character in this, really. Like, Luigi is the main guy in this. It's so fucking weird why they made these choices.
But I saw someone compare it to, like, if they didn't have the name Mario and Luigi, it would take you about, like, half an hour into the movie to realize, this is Super Mario's thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I was genuinely thinking that like this could have been a pretty fine movie if it wasn't connected to anything, but it's the weirdness of how like it's connected to all these things and it doesn't utilize them really at all. I can give a little synopsis of the movie if you want.
Go for it, yeah.
So the movie starts off with a baby getting abandoned at a Catholic church, and the person who's abandoned it is a woman. She runs down into a sewer. She goes to like a wall, and there's a fella dressed in like a uniform. She goes, "Oh my God, Koopa!" She does something, and the wall collapses on both of them, killing her. Right? We don't see what happens to Koopa. The church then shows that what she left there. We're cut to the church. There is this kind of rock that they bring inside, and they see that like when they bring this little piece of crystal, it looks like it opens up the rock and there's this baby inside, right? And then we cut 20 years later and we get introduced to Luigi and Mario, who are, you know, two plumbers just fucking broing out and like just they're having a conversation. It's not especially interesting to listen to, but it's grand. And they're explaining their entire it's just exposition central, right? They're just going through saying what they do and establishing the bad guy of the movie, who's Scapelli, or so we think at the start. Yeah.
The like the corporate plumbing syndicate of Manhattan.
I was thinking like, is that not the free market? Like, if he's doing a better job than they are, isn't that fine? Like, why should we support bad plumbers?
I can't believe like 10 minutes into this movie, you're like, and what about the like free market of tradesmen in Manhattan? Like, this is a weird. You just saw, and by the way, can we spoil that it wasn't a rock? It was an egg. This child came out of an egg. And you're just like, but the free market of the tradesmen of Manhattan.
You've got to think about what the free market. I mean, ultimately, if Mario would stop fighting against this system, he would realize that, you know, he could learn from it and become part of the system and become more effective as a plumber.
But he's got a bullshit partner in Luigi. And then the Scampielli basically is trying to overplumb this site. There's some excavation site happening. He's like, but I gotta do all my plumbing. And
no. So like, he's building something, and then the Daisy is introduced to us. She's excavating a fossil site, which is just in a sewer, which I was like, they dug a massive pipe, right? They dug a hole, they put in all this pipe, and then they just stopped at like a fossil site, which is like, I wonder how many dinosaur bones they absolutely ruined on the path down there. Like, there must just be a swath of, you know, pterodactyl bones just that they're picking out of their excavators, and they're like, God!
It's the same way you go to like museums. Like, do you remember we went to like the Acropolis Museum, and there's like a whole glass case of like broken vases, and you're meant to be like, ooh, but you just know there was some like archaeologist who was like, bang, oh no, just like smashed it. They're like, fuck it, put it in the case. No one will notice.
I'm trying to build a condo here, and I keep finding these broken pots and vases. God damn it! But yeah. Kind of just goes from there. Daisy.
It goes from there in the sense of that Daisy all of a sudden is being, like we said, it's hinted, it's all of a sudden realized that she is the one to emerge from the egg, and she's got that crystal around her neck. And these weird, creepy men are basically trying to kidnap her, bring her down the sewers, drag her into the dinosaur dimension where Koopa is.
And
going
they've
to
just
use it
been
for nefarious
stealing
means.
other women.
They've
stolen like 5 women, and like Scampielli, he like threatens Daisy at one point, where he goes like, oh, there's been a lot of missing women. You wouldn't want to end up missing, would you? And like, that sounds like, if you read that on the page, you'd be like, yeah, that'd be grand, you know, kind of just make it a bit lighthearted. Don't cast maybe one of the most threatening men to ever grace the screen. It like comes across so creepy and intimidating that I was like, oh, that's a tonal shift. I'm not sure the Super Mario, I don't remember playing the Super Mario games and being threatened for my life and feeling very uncertain
for, you know, your safety and the legitimacy of the free market in Manhattan.
I'm just saying, Scampielli, like, he might be a rough around the edges, but he's got a good heart. Well, no, he doesn't have a good heart, but he's working well in the capitalist market. Don't interrupt me when I'm trying to talk about the capitalist market. You're always getting in my way about the capitalist market. Come on.
It's because that we'd be here all night, John. That's why. But so what we've established is that, you know, Scapelli is the antagonist for Mario and Luigi, or so we think, because they're just two guys who are trying to plumb. And my favorite thing throughout this movie is they just really like. You could play an entire game of Super Mario Bros. And not realize he's a plumber, but I think in every scene in this movie there is some reference to that they are plumbers, or they have plumbing equipment with them. My favorite line, I think,
their skills come in helpful.
Yeah, my favorite line, I think Bob Hoskins says throughout this whole movie is, I've been listening to pipes my whole life. Just like,
why, Bob? You don't need to do that to be a plumber. Bob, the free market is telling you that you just need to take a short training course to become more efficient. You don't need to listen to pipes, and you don't need to drink from the leak. I think you might be getting lead poisoning, Bob Hoskins.
Yeah. Actually, what did you think about Bob Hoskins in this? Because I guess I probably know him best for the movie called The Long Good Friday, starring Pierce Brendan Brosnan, now a native actor, but also Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh, was he in that?
He's the detective from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Jesus. He's good fun. Like, he kind of commits to the random sporadic energy that you need, but like it doesn't have the heart of what, like, it kind of feels like a Home Alone would have, like the frenetic kind of movement where two characters are like, oh, give me this spanner, and oh, this pipe is nearly about to blow, and give me that thing, and, you know, moving around very quickly. But it's just, it doesn't. Would it
make you feel any better if I told you that apparently him and John Legumes both admitted that they got absolutely hammered for most of this movie, because apparently the directing duo was because
they were sending alcohol down those pipes and they kept drinking from them.
And he just apparently was one of the most torturous sets he's ever worked on. It was supposed to be 5 weeks long, ended up being 17 weeks long.
Wow.
And the script, it got to the point where the actors stopped bothering to read the rewrites, and they just wouldn't read the script until the day of, and then they were like, cool, what am I saying today? So the two guys got absolutely fucking hammered. But I was reading who was meant to be cast, or who was apparently like approached. Apparently Dustin Hoffman expressed interest in playing Mario.
Wow.
And then this person kind of makes sense, and I think would have done an incredible job. But also, at what age he is now, I still think he could do it. Danny DeVito was offered the role of Mario.
Yeah, no, well, I could see it. I think that would be fun.
I think that'd be great, no?
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
Could you imagine being like, it's me, Mario?
Yeah.
I think it would have been excellent.
I think anybody who would have wanted to be on a set like this for 17 weeks would have been good. I don't know if any of those actors would have wanted to be there, so I feel like this movie was not going to be very good regardless. But I can understand why it took 17 weeks, because the set design is actually spectacular.
Incredible. Really,
it's
good.
Really good. And it all happens once they go into the other dimension. Once Daisy gets captured and they go into the new dimension. Like, it actually blew my mind how extensive, and like, it's all practical.
Mm-hmm.
It's all rubbish, but it's all practical.
It's all something. Like, whatever they're going for, they go for it hard. So really apparently what happened was the directors wanted to make it like an adulty movie, something around the likes of Ghostbusters and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
They tried to make Super Mario an adulty movie.
Yes. But then what happened was Disney came on board, and apparently were like, you're going to need to change a lot of the dialogue. Apparently there was a lot of explicit content.
That's what a big company can do. This is why the free market is on our side, all right?
But so that's why it's so disjointed at times, because it went through so many script rewrites to the point where the directors weren't allowed in the editing room for the movie.
Wow.
Because they wanted to make it like a bit more edgier, like I said, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Ghostbusters. And Disney, I think, eventually had the distribution rights and were like, no, you need to make this a lot more kid friendly.
Fair. That's interesting, yeah. Like, because it does have a sort of a Batman Forever vibe to it of the sets. Yeah. Like, I like to imagine that Bob Hoskins and John Legs All the Way Down were, when they went through the portal, they saw what was in front of them, and it's hell incarnate. I literally people have fucking dying. Like,
I have Mario's spiral through hell.
Oh, there's a joke there about Dante's 7 circles of hell and something about rings, but that's Sonic and it doesn't work as well. But like, literally, when they come through, it's just cars driving around, and they're like dodging cars or whatever, so there's sparks always, all the time.
I can't believe I didn't read this anywhere. I thought of it myself, and I'm very proud of it.
You definitely read this somewhere.
All the cars are electric, yeah, and I was like, why is that? It's because they don't have any petrol or fuel, and the reason they don't have that is the dinosaur bones. Yeah, and there's no fossils, so I was like, how much of a genius am I? But then again, how stupid is the movie to not mention that? Like, why do you have to make me pick up on that context? But that's the only bit of content. That's the only bit of like subtext in the
It's
entire
a funny
movie.
one. A funny one where because the whole thing is King Koopa is on the other side. He's the actual main antagonist.
Yeah. Played by
but-
Dennis Hopper, by the way, who
Yes,
is
he's very good.
notoriously a very, very good actor, but also incredibly shit in this.
Yeah, and he wants to come over to he wants to merge the dimensions
Merge
and take
the
over.
two.
But do you
Yeah.
think he like looks at cars in the human dimension and goes, "Oh, that's fucked." Like imagine if like you went over to this dimension and they were just using like monkey like I don't know, like bones or something in order to like fuel everything. Like it'd just be like, "Oh, this I don't like this at all."
Well, in my version of the free market, I think we should be using
Any kind of bones, any bones at all. If they'll power cars, I'm putting them in the petrol hub.
But this is another point as well about the movie. The whole thing about it is King Koopa is trying to merge the two universes, and how he does that is the original meteorite that hit Earth is between the two dimensions,
Yes.
or universe or whatever, and the little crystal or whatever rock
Yeah.
that basically got Daisy out of her rock or egg is the last bit of the meteorite, and when that touches the original meteorite, the two universes merge.
Yes. Only
Why does
Daisy.
he need them to merge?
Only
Why does he not just walk through the portal himself?
I was wondering that as well because he walks through the portal at the very start of the movie. So
Yeah.
how long has that been open for? Like, can he go through whenever
You'd
he
have
wants?
to imagine all the time.
It must be because, but like it never explains that. It never explains it. Just
Maybe
like the petrol thing.
maybe he wants his version of the dinosaur free market
to take over. He's like, I think we have. Maybe he wants to join the free market. Maybe he's not like
That's what I
he
mean.
sees his level of wealth and he's like, this really isn't much when you think about like if I was a CEO over there, like I know the dinosaur hit our Earth. I know where we all would have died. I could find oil sites. Maybe he's really fucked up.
I know where we would hide our bones. Let's just say that. But, another thing about this, speaking of weird dinosaur things, is the plot
weird
point
dinosaur
in
things
which-
in this weird dino story thing.
Yeah, this weird dino story is that King Koopa has created a way to evolve the dinosaurs and de-evolve the dinosaurs with this weird like magical chair.
Yep.
But the most horrifying element of this movie is that he can de-evolve these evolved dinosaurs that just look like
They're
humans
just humans, yeah.
into these weird Goomba things, which anyone remembers from the game is the little like brown mushroomy thing you jump on. But in this,
Yes.
they're about 85 feet tall with a head the size of a tennis ball.
Yep.
And it's
The
just-
ideal male physique, some might say. Not the best skin, but the ideal male physique.
I was wondering why like you were trying to shrink your head like one of those weird voodoo dolls just to
I
get
just
that
want to look
physique.
like the fucking dinosaurs, okay? I just want to look like a dinosaur. I look at cars driving around, I'm like, they're so powerful, those cars driving around. They must be using some powerful dinosaur bodies in there. I wish I had a powerful dinosaur body.
Wouldn't it be great if I'm just thinking of like if this is like the de-evolved version of people in the dinosaur universe is these Goomba things.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be great if, you know, like in Jurassic Park, if he's like, welcome to Jurassic Park, and he just looks over at the field and there's just these fucking big fucking Goomba fucks. And people are like, I don't think that's what dinosaurs like. No, they do.
This
They've got
isn't
tiny
good.
little heads and big shoulders.
I think that one's trying to jump. It's trying to run away as fast as it can. It's horrified by the reality it lives in. But okay, so the de-evolve thing is, it's kind of one of these bits where it's quite an intense concept for a Mario game, right? And I'm going to keep saying for a Mario game because what the hell is a de-evolve or evolve thing doing in this movie? It's a Mario movie.
Yeah.
But the previous king, and like, okay, I'm going to go on a bit about this, but there was a previous king of this world called King something, Toad, or
Yeah.
I don't know. But he
I'll
got
find it now.
de-evolved into a fungus, and now he's spread across the city. But I do want to say that, like, they've gone from a king to a president, so they're not all bad. Like, they've gotten rid of a monarchy, and they've replaced it with a democracy that has one party, but, like, you know, it's not so bad. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm a free market guy. I'm a capitalist kind of guy. I don't know. I'm just saying they're doing some good things.
You've got thoughts, yeah. There's like,
I got
look, the
thoughts, I got
dinosaurs
thoughts.
did some things right.
That's
The
it.
big sparky cars and their politics.
And what if they went to another dimension? They got that right as well. If they did
got
that,
right. Yeah.
we don't know. I haven't gone through all of the sewers in Manhattan yet. yet.
You've gone through a lot of them, though,
I have.
to be fair to
I've
you.
listened to the pipes, and they're all telling me to leave.
But there was something you were saying that, so he gets de-evolved into a fungus, and basically I don't know, this is like the mushroom, because they call it a mushroom kingdom, because this guy is a mushroom, and he's like spreading, I don't know if you're watching The Last of Us at the moment, where it's all about this fungus growing around, turning everyone into zombies, but this movie says the phrase, trust the fungus, and what I've learned from Joel and whatever her name is, Ellie, you don't trust the fungus. That's
you
all
don't.
I know.
No matter how much the fungus wants you to take a small little plastic bomb.
Oh my god, it keeps offering it bombs. It's hilarious.
They're like weird bombs as well. They seem to be able to walk on any surface until
they're
they
like
hit
a wind-up
something.
bomb. You just wind it up and
Very
it walks on
weird.
its little legs, and you light it, and then it blows up in about 2 to 3 hours.
And like, honestly, like, we could talk more about this movie, but it's kind of just like, there's a lot of scenes. Some of them are funner than others, but they're all just kind of there. Like, there's some good bits. I really liked the nightclub scene where Crystal Rock, immediately as they go into this new world, gets stolen by Big Bertha, which I was like, is BB a reference to like Bullet Bill from the Mario games? But I wasn't sure, and I didn't look it up, so I'm not interested in finding out if that's true or not.
I can tell you the answer.
I don't want to know it. I've learned enough in my life. But what is the answer? Just for someone listening.
It's the fish. I think it's the fish.
Oh, okay.
The big cheap or whatever it is, I think is the
That's Big Bertha.
Boss it's a big boss fight. There you go.
They have a good scene where
fuck it, we can't afford a fish. We only have dinosaurs in this parallel universe. So we'll just make her a big woman who steals the rock thing and jumps away on her rocket boots.
She has her rocket boots. She steals, and she's also super strong, which is like.
I don't think she's super strong. I just think she's just been working.
She's just a tall person. Standing here 5'10", I'm like, I don't think anyone could hold the door closed against 4 people. It's like, no, that's a 6'4", 5 person probably could do it. That's not possible. I'm 85 kilograms. I couldn't possibly stop.
Once you get that Goomba physique.
If only. I'd power so many cars, Gary. They'd all use my horsepower. But there's a good scene where she has the crystal around her neck. Mario dances with her, and he's trying to get it and untie it, but they're doing dance moves the whole time. And I thought, like, wow, this is just another scene where they could have used maybe 2 more takes, because it's so lifeless. Like, it's fine, but it's just lifeless. There's that scene. There's the bit where they're in prison, which is great because they're all in like dog cages.
Oh yeah.
And that is really, like, it's all practical, so it actually looks really impressive. They get put in these dog cages. They get brought down, interviewed or interrogated by King Koopa himself, and he's saying how, like, oh, you don't want to mess with King Koopa. He's really cool, and like he's a scary guy. And then he reveals himself to be King Koopa, which is like, could have used another couple of rewrites there, because like, why bother?
But it's just like from the audience perspective, you're just sitting there like, we
know
you're
he's King Koopa. Yeah. Like, we know he's King Koopa, and then 5 seconds later he reveals it. There's not even like he's their friend for a little bit and then he betrays them. That doesn't happen, and that would have been good, because that happens in all the Mario games. I don't know if you've been aware. Betrayal is a huge part of it. Oh yeah, right in between Worlds 4.5 and 5.1. Betrayal of the highest order.
But and again, I don't think I don't think Dennis Hopper is he doing a bad job? I don't know.
He's doing a job.
He's just doing a job. My favorite thing is I read a quote from him where he said, so he explained why he did the film. So he goes, I made a picture called Super Mario Bros. And my 6-year-old at the time, he's 18 now, he said, Dad, I think you're probably a pretty good actor, but why did you play that terrible guy King Koopa in Super Mario Bros? And I said, well, Henry, so you could have shoes. And he said, Dad, I don't need shoes that badly.
Dad, take the shoes back. Can you return them?
I would rather walk to school in my bare feet than for you to play such trash on screen.
He looks down at his shoes, and they're just like the rocket jump double shoes. Like, Dad, you stole these from on set, didn't you? Yes, son. I wasn't paid in money. I was paid in fungus and in dreams.
But also, can I do my other favorite bit of Bob Hoskins? Just speaking of people quoting them, their thoughts about the movie. So in 2007, so nearly 20 plus years after this movie came out, Bob Hoskins said, "The worst thing I ever did Super Mario Bros. It was a fucking nightmare. The whole experience was a nightmare. It was a husband and wife team directing whose arrogance had been mistaken for talent.
Wow.
After so many weeks, their agent told them to get the fuck off set. Fucking nightmare. Fucking idiots. And then he said him and Leguizamo would get drunk before each day of filming and would continue to drink between takes. And then in 2011, he said, "What's the worst job you've?" He was asked, "What's the worst job you've done? What has been your biggest disappointment? And if you could edit your past, what would you change?" His answer to all three was Super Mario Bros.
His answer to every question that day was Super Mario Bros. In a more haunted, more troubled look on his face, growing with every time he said it.
But so what's kind of funny is I would imagine like if this had been like later on in life when like I don't know the internet took hold of things, I could just imagine everyone going up to him with a phone and being like, "Say the line, do the line," and he goes, "It's a Mario."
Yeah, a Mario. With my brother, Luigi Mario.
Yeah, so that's a thing for the movie then,
I don't know.
Okay.
Again, I've
So for
learned too much in my life and I'm shutting the doors on new information.
Okay, fine.
But for the
So
audience,
anyone who's-
maybe tell them.
Yeah, so in this movie, they're getting checked into the police station, and he's like...
They're getting checked in.
They're getting checked in.
They're getting their key cards for the room.
They're being given the Wi-Fi code for the prison. And
Now, don't touch the minibar. It is more jail time.
But they're like, "What's his first name?" And he's like, "Mario." Second name?
Yeah.
Mario. And he's like, "Mario?"
Yeah.
And Mario replies, "Yeah." And then he goes, "And what's your name?" Directing towards Luigi. And he goes, "Luigi." And surname? "Mario." And he's like, "Your name is Luigi Mario." And he's like, "Yeah." And I think that became...
Probably looked real good on the script. Probably looked real good on the paper. Like... Someone looked at that and went, "No notes, no notes."
The lads just did like a couple of tequilas, like, "Fuck it, let's do it."
And it's just like, yeah, like the movie continues. Dennis Hopper and
the movie does continue, you're not wrong.
Dennis Hopper and Fiona Shaw, who people, I don't know if I said this, she's in Andor. She's the mother.
She is in Andor. She's also in Harry Potter. She's the Dursley.
Oh yeah, she is. Yeah. She's great
as well.
She's the CIA kind of head boss person.
Yeah.
She's class. And they're having a lot of fun. But it just kind of continues. Will we jump to the end, or is there more you want to talk about?
I just have two more things to talk about. And by that, I mean I probably have 18.
Nice.
But we've covered off most of the characters except for two. One is a guy called Toad, who people would know from the game as a little mushroom-headed boy. But in this, he's played by like I haven't done research. I'll look at his name.
He has the weirdest hairstyle where they've done circles into his hair, which I guess evokes Toad's head. But I don't remember if Toad has circles on his head, so I don't know if it's just like a weird, funky camp hairstyle they decided to give him.
So he's played by famous American musician Mojo Nixon. Now, John, you've obviously a big fan of Mojo Nixon. He's in your Spotify Wrapped every year. What would be
I've
your
dedicated my 5 top songs for him.
5 Mojo Nixon songs, if
it's
you please.
Tough, honestly, to just nail down 5. I mean, there's so
John,
many.
how about this? I would like you to name one Mojo Nixon song.
My favorite, or just any?
John, I would like you to name any single song from the entire discography of American musician Mojo Nixon. I nearly forgot his name in the middle of that
sentence. Well, I'd have to say it's probably my favorite song of his is probably Valerie. I loved how he did that one. Yeah, Valerie. Either Valerie or Poker Face. I was a big fan of him in Poker Face. Yeah.
Well,
or no, maybe what?
Sorry, I've looked up his top 5 songs on.
Okay, give them to me because I have no idea.
The first one is called "Are You Drinking with Me, Jesus?" The second one is "Elvis Is Everywhere."
Okay.
The third is "Tie My Pecker to My Leg." The fourth one is "Love Me, I'm a Liberal," and the fifth one is "Plastic Jesus."
Wow.
Oh, number 8 is "Will the Fetus Be Aborted?" So this is who they thought would play. This is who they thought would play.
Famous character
Toad in the Super Mario Bros.
Known for squealing and not much else.
But
he's just a weirdo. Like I've never been so happy to see a man get de-evolved. Apart
yeah,
from,
'cause-
I probably felt happier that he got de-evolved than anyone else, except for at the end of this movie where Scamparelli gets de-evolved. And an entire crowd of people go, yeah! Rather than be terrified at the concept of what they've just witnessed.
So when the dinosaurs get de-evolved, they get turned into these weird Goombas. But if
Yes.
you de-evolve a human,
Just a
contrary
chimpanzee.
to popular belief, it just turns into a monkey.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, would I be scared more of seeing a man be reduced to his base instincts and become a chimpanzee, or seeing a chimpanzee on the loose in front of me? Because I would, honestly, I'm not sure. I think probably the latter is what I'd be more scared
Have
by.
you seen Nope?
I have. That,
Oh, okay.
Jesus, yeah, that's
That's the scene. There's a scene in Nope that I feel like would just haunt me from ever going to the zoo again.
and it involves a de-evolver as well. It's
It's just Stephen Yeun. He just freaks
Awful.
me out. He's such a good actor.
But yeah,
It's like last thing on Mojo Nixon, I do promise.
I don't want any
promise
more
that-
on Mojo
no,
Nixon.
It's just who they were. I have just him and one other character I need to talk about. So the last thing
You're
about
gonna
Mojo
be like,
Nixon
you're gonna
playing
be like,
Toad.
oh, actually, other people who wanted to play Toad were Billy Joel. And
Well, this is
Mick
the thing.
Jagger.
This, do you know who they
Actually-
want? Who they know? It's not him, but Joe. Who they wanted to play Toad in the Super Mario Bros. Movie was
If it's Phil
apparently
Collins,
the studio's first choice was Tom Waits.
wow, that was never going to happen.
My favorite part of this line of trivia is he was unavailable, and I was like, no shit, he was unavailable. I think he could have tanked his career. He could have been absolutely free. I don't think there's no way he would have done this. But apparently, Mojo Nixon's agent pitched Mojo to the casting director as
You've gotten
he's
quite-
a third
you've
rate.
gotten very
He's a
comfortable
third
with
rate Tom Waits at half the price.
Imagine your agent, your guy, your boy saying that about you.
You're hype man.
Oh, Jesus. And he's seeing Mojo with his new song, I'd Abort You for Jesus, or whatever the fuck.
Jesus.
And like, he's going, maybe hold off on that one, Mojo. Maybe just wait before releasing that banger. Wait until just after whenever this movie came out.
93. And my last person I want to talk about is the character of Yoshi.
Oh, yeah, the little dinosaur boy.
It's
I
just
loved
a
him.
dinosaur. He was adorable and cute, much like in the games. However, when he tries to eat Fiona Shaw, I thought that was a step
Horrifying
too far
thing
for the
to
character
see.
of Yoshi.
Yeah, there's a lot of like, oh, they made that decision. That's interesting. And in
They're
a
like
bad
dinosaurs.
way.
Dinosaurs eat people.
Yeah.
Yoshi, the character
It doesn't-
from
I mean,
the game.
I guess, yeah, there's dinosaurs around because humans would have evolved from a specific kind of dinosaur, but it's a little bit weird to see. Eventually, Dennis Hopper, King Koopa, is, how's he defeated again? I don't even remember.
He is de-evolved. Oh, he gets put into the de-evolved machine. Or he gets they put the
Because
de-evolved
that-
gun on him for so long.
That de-evolved machine, they say it goes both ways. It does not. Like, they have these two characters, Iggy and Spike, who get evolved because they're so
I
dumb.
remember their names. Jesus Christ.
They get evolved, and they are not any smarter. They just use bigger
No,
words.
they
Like,
get
they're
bigger
still,
brains,
they're still,
John.
no, they're dumb. They're still
They get
dumb.
bigger brains.
This is
Everyone
literally,
knows
this is like
Every
D&D.
100 years, the human changes by their brain getting bigger.
No,
that is a
This
fact.
is like D&D
That's a fact,
saying
John.
wisdom and intelligence are the same thing. Like, these lads are intelligent, but they have not a nook nor cranny of wisdom in their entire brain. Like, they go through every situation, and you're like, what are you doing? Like, but they're just saying like, yes, we must pontificate on this result. Surely if our ambitions are to be achieved, we could only go one of two possible routes, and we must find the most optimum one. And then you're like, okay, but you're bum rushing them. You're bum rushing Mario and Luigi. There's got to be a better way than bum rushing them. Like,
I don't know, John. You've sounded very, what's the word? Evolved there, I will say.
I've been pontificating all night. But yeah,
Koopa just gets he just gets super de-evolved to
he gets
mush.
de-evolved. All of the princesses, all the mystery women who got stolen from Brooklyn get saved.
Ah, yeah.
Daisy was with them. Now they're all free, and they managed to re-evolve the king because Daisy's
Yeah.
dad is the king.
Yeah.
He's the fungus.
He's the fungus, yeah. Covering his
He gets re-evolved, and the only line he says is, God, I love those plumbers. It's just, It's like someone took a course in writing and they were like, okay, now to resolve all my loose ends. And they realized like, okay, I gotta do that. And that we need this fungus to be back, and it had to help them throughout. It's just, it's so dumb. And then maybe, when King Koopa does eventually get into New York, because that does happen at some point. He comes in
before he's de-evolved.
Before he's de-evolved, he gets in to New York. He sees everyone. He goes up to Scamparelli, turns him into a chimpanzee, and then gets whisked away back into his own dimension. But that crowd of people are just cheering for a man being turned into a monkey. It's just, there's a lot of scenes in this movie which, on reflection, you're like, that's fucked.
Oh, you think that's the most fucked part of that scene? So this is all happening when the two worlds are merging together because the rock is going into the meteorite, and
the crystal,
Dennis Hopper and the crystal. Dennis Hopper's King Koopa and Bob Hoskins' Mario get transported to New York briefly, and things start to change around them. And there's a famous New York landmark that all of a sudden starts to get disappeared a bit, and you're like, oh. That was an interesting choice to have the two towers blow up in a 1993 movie.
To be fair, they couldn't have known, but it's sad to. It's always a shocking thing to see.
Could they have? Could they have? That's what I'm just asking questions.
I don't know. But yeah, it's the movie then goes on, and
the directors are part of the Taliban.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Jesus Christ, Gary! Husband and wife combo, like.
That's how they got them.
Oh, fucking Alan Keeda there, like. All right, I'm gonna leave a few seconds there for the cut.
Nope. Look, they don't have a career. They don't have any influence in this anymore.
You might not have a career after this.
It's a Mia Mario.
Oh, Jesus, like. But they eventually come.
Because this is Gary.
I'm resolving the movie. I'm resolving the movie.
I'm just resolving my further cancellation. This isn't Gary. This is Wagari. It's the opposite of Gary.
I will get to Wagari because Wario and Waluigi should have been in this movie. But I realized recently that Waluigi only got invented in like 2000s. So they didn't even know about that lad before this. But they should have been able to predict that. Like, you go to a parallel dimension.
Much like a 9/11.
Shut up! They go into this. I don't know how you're going to cut this episode. Like, they go into. They should have been able to predict Wario and Waluigi as a concept. Like, you go to a parallel dimension where you have, like, what if humanity evolved like this? And they don't have a, like, this is you, but evil. Like, that's such an easy concept that, like, so many movies have done. They should have done it, and it would have been great crack to see it. But they didn't do it. Yeah. And it's so, like, it's such a missed opportunity. It's such a shame. But anyway, the movie then resolves with, they close the portal, I think. Mario and Luigi are back in their gaff, and they're just chilling out, having a good time, talking about how great everything is now that the only big business plumbing company has gone out of business, and everyone has to fucking pay for some two dickheads to come over to them and fix for overinflated rates, because these lads listen to pipes more than they actually fix them. But then Daisy just shows up, and she's like, I got a thing! And they go, what? And she's like, you won't believe what's happened now. And that's it. And that is like, it's shameless on how much they were hoping for a sequel. Shameless.
Well, yeah, because it made no money. I think it lost quite a lot of money as well.
It made none, and it lost a lot. That is, they look in their wallets, and they're like, my money! Bob, check your pockets. Where's the money? I don't know. It's gone.
He just opens his bag, and it's just a load of naggins from him just drinking non-stop during this movie.
Oh, does money clink? I've got a lot of clinking going on around me.
But so in regards to this new movie that's coming out,
yes, Bob Hoskin restars as the prominent side character, Mario.
But I want I want this movie to be referenced in that movie somehow. I don't know how you do it. I don't know if you give them the costumes from this movie. I don't know if you have the king to be a fungus. All I want from this 1.5 hour movie with Jack Black, Chris Pratt, and others is this 1993 nightmare, fever dream nightmare of a movie to have some sort of representation. Is that too much to ask?
I don't think
Hollywood?
I don't think so.
No, neither do I.
And I think, look, Disney could do it right because they're a big business that's capitalized on the free market. Whereas a husband and wife combo, they just don't have the potential to really realize dreams in this manner. They can't afford the animation. They can't afford the talent. Leave it to big business. Free market will
Universal.
save us. Oh, we're fucked.
Yeah, no, big time. I trust them. I liked Minions: The Rise of Gru.
Do you wear a suit to the movie for that? Or did you just wear a suit in general? And you were like,
here's
everyone else is wearing a suit in
Here's
here.
a slight tangent. I really wanted a load of those guys during that cinema experience because I think it would have made the movie better because it was so boring. I just wanted a load of lads with bananas to just start fucking going mental. And I'm a notorious man to not like people making any noise in the cinema, but if there was a load of guys in suits screaming at the screen, I would have had a better time than I did watching Minions: The Rise of Gru.
Oh, if only. If only.
But yeah, I think that's Super Mario Bros. 1993 video game adaptation fantasy adventure movie, John.
I think at the start of this, I told you that before we started recording, I told you this is a 1 out of 5 for me, but it's a solid 1 out of 5 because this had so much potential and it's real bad, but it's not like horrific. It's not like a negative score that I would give if I could to something like Morbius or whatever. This is honestly, it's probably worth watching if you have a drinking game involved.
Oh,
because it's kind of fun. Like there's good sets. It's funny to see the disaster unfold. Like it's grand.
Yeah, I think everyone's having fun by the looks of it in the movie. Like all the actors seem to be having a good time with it, and it's bonkers. It's ridiculous, and like it's not boring. Which I'll give it a lot of praise for. In that, like,
it's
there's
fast.
enough. Like the pacing of the movie is breakneck. To its own detriment of making any sort of narrative sense, but like it's a lot's happening a lot of the time, and there's always things happening on screen. So,
so fair play, Bob. Fair play that husband and wife, whoever their names are, Al and Kaida. Cut that one out.
I'm gonna have to leave it all in. I'm gonna have to leave it all in, John. It's comedy rule of 3. You signed it off well. John, thank you so much for coming back and doing a bad movie. I promise we'll do a better one after this. Maybe
I don't want to. Okay. I want to do worse and worse movies. Yeah.
What would your father think? Your father listens to this, John.
My papa.
No, I want to thank, like I said, yourself, John, and anyone who's listened to this and all the other ones. If you would like to keep up to date with the podcast, you can follow at Reading the Peers on Instagram and TikTok. We're also on YouTube. You can follow myself on Letterboxd. The link is in the description. Or you could. Or in real life, just follow me around. Fucking see what happens. Fucking try it. And you can follow John.
I'll double jump you into the fucking ground.
I'll fucking throw a bomb at you. I swear to God. I'll have all my mushrooms with me. I'll get fucking 10 feet tall, and I'll have a tiny little head.
Gary's 6 foot tall, and as anyone who's 5'10" knows, that is incomprehensibly stronger than what we can think of. This lad will rip a car in half, and it it's nothing.
Just watch. But what else? You can also, if you want to contact the podcast, you can email reelingthepeers@gmail.com. If you want to keep up to date with podcasts, you can subscribe or follow on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any of whatever podcast platforms you listen on. If you think of a really bad movie for John to do let us know, and I'll come back and force him to do it.
Super Mario again. I want to see updated thoughts on Super Mario again.
Just to look through it and just see if there's any sort of
I got a director's cut
in it that might. What's this? There's a lot of anti-George Bush stuff.